Okay, let's crack open something. Well, something pretty unique today.
Yeah, definitely unique.
We're diving into a source that it doesn't just offer a view on management. It claims to be the actual secret playbook.
That's right. We're talking about Dogbert's top secret management handbook, as told to Scott Adams. And the whole setup is, this isn't a guide you should use.
Right.
It's supposedly the one managers are using, behind closed doors.
And the premise here, for you listening,
Yeah.
is that leadership. It's
What?
not some magic quality you're born with.
Not at all. Dogbert says it's learned, specifically learned by reading books exactly like this one. It's meant to be the expose.
The hidden truths of the manager's world.
So our mission here in this deep dive is really to navigate this thing. It's deeply satirical, often kind of brutal.
Yeah.
We'll pull out Dogbert's core philosophy, the tactics he talks about, some memorable examples, give you a shortcut, sort of, to understanding this very cynical take.
Think of it like decoding the Dogbert management method. But, be warned. The tone is sharp. The humor's dark, and Dogbert's, let's call it honesty, is used to really skewer some familiar workplace stuff.
It absolutely doesn't pull any punches. It's all about power dynamics, seen through this satirical lens.
So where do we even start with the Dogbertian manager? I guess with his basic idea of what management is.
Right, especially in what he calls the non-ideal world, which he pretty much suggests is most of the world.
Okay.
And in this world where managers apparently don't have the real power to make, actual positive changes, Dogbert says there are only two choices.
Which are?
1, do nothing, probably get fired. 2, do irrational, unproductive things.
And get rewarded.
And get rewarded, yeah.
Right.
So a lot of what looks like management, according to the handbook, it's just filler. Because nothing's broken enough to need real skill.
Filler. Wow, that feels maybe a little too real sometimes, doesn't it?
It can strike a chord. And within that filler framework, the goal isn't like company success. No. The real aim of leadership, Dogbert says, is just getting company resources, money, perks, whatever distributed to yourself.
Pure self-interest, okay.
Exactly. Purely self-serving. And that kind of sets the stage for everything else. If your goal is just grabbing resources through busy work, you have to look and sound the part.
You need the persona.
You absolutely need the manager persona.
Right. Step 1 is language. You can't just call people dolts. Too honest.
Yeah. Too direct. The handbook says you got to use the acceptable corporate words.
Yeah.
Resources, team member, associate.
Which basically still mean dolt or loser in Dogbert's view, but they sound nicer.
Exactly. Safety via euphemism. And crucially, sounding smart when you're, well, maybe not.
The power of jargon.
The power of jargon. Buzzwords are your friend. The book mentions utilize, paradigm, vertical empowerment, proactive.
Weave them into every sentence.
Right. Make yourself sound profound. The comics in the book actually show this transformation, turning into this jargon-spewing machine.
And part of that machine look is the management zombie stare.
Oh, yeah.
The book says hide any trace of understanding or, God forbid, compassion. Your face has to say, logic is futile.
It's brutal. Dogbert suggests new managers make the mistake of thinking employees might have good ideas. His counter is blunt. If they were smart, they wouldn't be working for you.
Ouch. Okay. And the look extends to clothes, too.
Yep. Clothes make the leader. He uses the Pope's hat as an analogy. Take off the hat, the authority drops.
So wear impressive clothes because if people don't respect you, maybe they'll respect the suit.
That's the idea. It replaces needing wit or, actual charisma. Power is the new currency.
Now, the handbook gets into some really dark territory here. Subtle intimidation, telling dirty jokes.
Yeah, and it's important to stress this is satire. It's illustrating a dark power dynamic, a twisted view, not endorsing it.
Absolutely. The book says employees have to laugh heartily at your jokes, and if someone objects, you just claim they misinterpreted you.
It's presented as a cynical tactic within that power imbalance.
Okay, moving from persona to practice. Meetings. Why do they drag on?
Because agendas are just suggestions, meant to be ignored, according to Dogbert.
So what are the manager's real goals in a meeting?
Beautifully simple. 1, clear your desk by assigning tasks to others. 2, look like you grasp the big picture. 3, babble. 4, avoid answering any actual questions.
Sounds about right. And the calendar, managed by the secretary.
Whose main job, the book jokes, is often to get the manager out of the office.
Yeah.
If you're a bad boss, maybe she schedules you for idiot trickle torture.
Idiot trickle torture.
Yeah. Fills your whole day with the slow drip of your most boring employees. Revenge.
Wow. And there's even a formula for being late to meetings with your team.
Oh, yes. Number of people waiting times 3 minutes. That's how late you should be.
Strategic lateness.
Then you pop your head in, say you have a call, vanish. They'll wait.
This lack of engagement, does it apply to tech too?
Totally. Managers don't need to understand tech. That's what the little people are for.
The resources.
The resources, exactly. You just need a few key facts like knowing a fax isn't teleportation.
Or that running under Windows doesn't involve actual running.
Right. But the real trick, skim Newsweek, find some random techie idea storing smells in databases, whatever, and demand your staff implement it.
And when they say it's impossible,
blame them. Lazy, stupid, not forward-thinking enough.
This sounds like reality distortion.
Which leads perfectly into management physics. Dogbert says managers can bend time, space, matter.
How? Give me an example.
Okay, suspending cause and effect. Your employee says a job takes 6 months, your boss wants it in 2 weeks. What do?
Panic.
No, you simply declare it takes 2 weeks. Done. When it's late, the blame transfers to the employee at light speed.
Magic. What about controlling gravity?
Your office is a black hole. Employee input. Documents. They just vanish.
Right.
Blame gravity. It's elegantly absurd.
It really is. So, with this power, why avoid decisions? Dogbert advises that, right?
Strongly. Says nothing good ever came from a management decision anyway.
So how do you avoid them?
Act confused. Form a task force guaranteed to do nothing. Demand more data forever. Lose the documents. Blame gravity again. Or just wait for another manager to make the call.
And the best tactic, you mentioned this earlier, the margin scrawl.
Oh, it's brilliant. Get a document eating a decision, scribble something totally illegible in the margin, like Wimblegromp, send it back.
And the employee wastes weeks trying to figure it out.
Months, maybe. Buys you loads of time. If they come back, just scribble something angrier looking. Foolproof.
Okay, this connects to Dogbert's take on trust, I imagine.
Yeah, trust is good, but if you're unscrupulous, lying works too. Employees can't really retaliate much.
And if trust breaks down?
Pivot to fear, intimidation. No real downside, according to the handbook. That power difference again.
It's a constant theme. Now, Dogbert splits management and leadership. What's the difference for him?
Management is distributing resources for the company good. Pointless filler.
And leadership?
Leadership is getting resources distributed to yourself. That's the real prize.
So you should aim for leadership.
Definitely. And you have to lead by example, which Dogbert redefines.
Oh.
Personal sacrifice, like ordering your chauffeur to get a cheap haircut, or sharing a secretary so she works 80 hours a week. These selfless acts inspire the troops.
Right. And you need the language of leadership, too.
Absolutely. Empty phrases. Work smarter, not harder. It's a new paradigm. Opportunity, not a problem.
Why does this work?
Because, Dogbert argues, employee egos are so crushed by corporate life, they'll cling to any ridiculous idea that makes them feel slightly valued. You tell them their hearts and souls will be nourished.
And you use ego-stroking messages.
Constantly. Valued member of the team. Nobody can do what you do, and if they still complain about pay after all that...
it's their fault.
Clearly a character flaw. On their part, obviously.
Yeah, actually. So how do these managers find new managers?
Simple. Promote people less qualified than yourself. Thins the herd. Dogbert jokes you'll eventually promote amoebas.
How do you spot potential in actual humans, then?
Look for signs. Crushing small animals when they sit down shows lack of compassion. Whiplash from nodding too hard shows agreement. Or perfectly mimicking you, useful as a mirror.
An inspiring vision. Okay, that gives us the Dogbertian manager. Now, how do they motivate the resources?
Yes. Part 2. Employee motivation, Dogbert style. The goal. Make employees happy enough to forget their own interests.
Like food and shelter.
Pretty much. Make them forget all that and focus only on your career advancement.
And actual employee satisfaction.
Too expensive. Maybe unhygienic. The better way. The employee satisfaction survey.
The old survey and ignore.
Classic. But you design it strategically. Don't ask about real issues like the tyrannical boss or the soul-crushing cubicle.
What do you ask?
Questions that imply the problems are the employee's fault. Are they lazy? Stupid? Are their coworkers weenies? Would they like a pay cut? Divert blame.
Avoid the dangerous questions.
Absolutely. Don't ask if their work is useless thanks to management, or if they're surrounded by idiots, or if the pay is making them job hunt. Too much truth there.
Dogbert even has his own hierarchy of needs.
He does. Bottom level. Coffee and donuts. Top level. More money. The whole system is designed to keep them happy down low, so they never need more money.
And he uses doctors as an example. That sounds weird.
It's a twisted example. Doctors, long hours, high pay, high suicide rate. So if your employees complain about low pay or boring work,
Increase their workload.
exactly. If they're still unhappy, maybe they'll achieve that high suicide rate, which Dogbert calls a self-correcting problem.
Wow, that's dark.
Extremely dark humor, yeah.
Yeah.
And to deflect blame for all this, form a motivation task force.
Made of employees.
Yep. They'll recommend useless stuff. Never what they really want, like, hitting the manager or getting paid more.
Okay, so what are the specific tactics? The carrot, maybe?
Dogbert's version of the carrot. First, the shallow compliment program. Compliments release endorphins, block pain, make people work harder.
It might lead to.
Wild jungle sex, according to the handbook. Or marrying a relative if you're in procurement. It also says compliment meaningless work, like status reports. Makes people feel good about pointless tasks.
Even if the report achieved nothing. Then there's pretending to care.
Right. Ask about their life, but don't actually listen. The drive-by method is recommended.
Drive-by.
Shout, "How's the family?" as you walk quickly past their desk. Or even drive past in the parking lot. Maximum perceived care, minimum time. Then use that fake bond to get free work later.
Nice. What about gifts?
Worthless gifts are key. Big achievement. Give them something cheap with the company logo they'd never buy themselves, like a belt buckle.
Why worthless?
Motivates them and makes their coworkers jealous. Double win. Never give actual value, like stock or bonuses. That sends a wrong message. They're famil, not paid help.
Any examples?
Fuzzy awards, 1% cotton, 99% miscellaneous stuff. Or maybe $500 cash for saving the company millions. Certificates of appreciation are good too. Tells them, "You're worth this piece of paper." Reinforces false hope.
What about promises?
Empty promises of promotions cost nothing. Promise it for some vague future date. When it doesn't happen, invent the team leader role.
Which means?
They do your job, you tell them their salary is higher now, but they can't check. Zero cost motivation.
And the ultimate carrot, VP exposure.
Yeah. Employees think executives are useless, but getting a meeting feels like a reward. They fantasize about becoming a special advisor. The reality is usually being ignored.
Okay, one more carrot. Attendance incentives.
Right. Cheap gifts, digital clocks, golf tees for coming in sick, discourages using sick days, keeps those germs circulating. Productive.
Brutally efficient. Okay, let's flip to the stick. Manipulation tactics, objectives, and performance reviews.
Prime tools. Let employees write their own objectives. Dogbert calls it buy-in amusement. Then you, the manager, make them impossible or change them later.
Like build an OS for the solar system.
Exactly. Or increase profits 200% with daily reports. Or just have fun. They're mentally adjusted later. If they complain about no feedback, blame the last manager.
In the review itself, they rate themselves godlike.
And you shoot it down. Objectives weren't really important. Or tough year, tiny raise for everyone. The review measures your predictability, but you convince them it measures their performance. Pure redirection.
Masterful. How about increasing productivity?
3 keys per Dogbert. 1. Slogans. Put them on a banner. Shows commitment. 2. Threats. Hire sharks. 3. Mandatory unpaid overtime. Call it professionalism, not H-A-H-A-H-A.
And look for dementia. Missing ears.
Yeah, it looks like creativity keeps pay low. A weird one.
How do you create challenge or interesting work?
Just make boring jobs harder. Same difference. Present nasty projects as a challenge. Makes the employee feel like an Olympian, not a bug about to be squashed.
And you should promise to remove obstacles.
Oh, absolutely promise. Knowing full well you are often the obstacle. Then, when you fail to remove yourself, blame others. They didn't call back. No more chips.
The comics show this well, right? Canceling projects, the clean desk policy.
Exactly. All designed to hinder while looking helpful. Then there's the employee rejection plan.
Disguised as a suggestion plan.
Right. It's a goldmine of ideas that might make you look dumb. So you route them to the manager who should have thought of them, then reject them. Foolproof reasons provided. I thought of that yesterday. Or just nonsense logic. Cash awards. Makes employees feel like prostitutes.
Priorities. Employees ask for them to avoid work, right?
It's a trick, so you thwart it. Rank everything top priority. Impossible list. Not your problem, it's theirs, if they complain.
Fake anger. Squeeze. Something.
Yeah, the book suggests some methods for generating that angry look. Dark humor again.
Micromanaging. Why do it?
Corrects the perception you're ineffective. Assume employees are dumber than rocks. Guide everything. Document indentation. Microchip design.
Upgrade their documents.
Thicken periods. Add proactive synergies. Make it one page. Use fewer E's. Have your art history degree correct their engineering logic. Use intimidation if it fails.
Wow.
Blame whoever's closest for not speaking up.
What if things are too calm?
Create false urgency, let work pile up on your desk, then release it as past due. Ask for a response, sit on it, give feedback late. Exaggerate competitors, make them sound terrifying compared to your ugly dolts.
Though that might backfire.
Could inspire them to go work for the scary competitor, yeah.
Okay, forced interaction. Team building. Why?
If you hate them or want them to quit without severance, make them bowl together. Awkwardness ensues. Or dangerous team building.
Dangerous.
Risk of death or dismemberment. Good for headcount reduction, reveals incompetence, cuts down meeting time. Efficient.
Casual day. Just a nice perk.
Oh, no. It's motivation, but the corporate definition makes sure the clothes are ugly, unprofessional, stuff you don't own makes you look bad. Jeans, sneakers, forbidden. Link them to global warming.
Don't warm the globe with your comfy shoes. Competition.
Essential. Competition, health. Everything. Begging hurt love. That's Dogbert's logic.
How do you create it?
Give the same job to two people separately. They'll fight like drunken pit bulls. Salary depends on being the other guy. You. Look annoyed. Eat cheese, it's healthy. Helps the cream rise. Preps for downsizing.
All about control. Finally, rumor control.
Keep them nervous. Edgy is better than alert. Deny rumors to make them seem true. Slip in one real detail.
Like denying you're selling into a medical school.
Or replacing them with monkeys, moving to a toxic waste dump, or relocating to the South Pole, adding, there are no Eskimos there, keeps them off balance.
That's quite the toolkit.
It really is. Exhausting just listing it.
Okay, let's briefly hit a few other gems from later in the handbook. Reinforce these ideas.
Sure. Communication tactics are big. Verbal instructions are good if you want plausible deniability later.
And if you're consistently inconsistent.
Drives employees insane, covers your tracks, helps with downsizing. Signs of this useful insanity. They seem pleased with criticism or think they might actually get promoted.
The newsletter.
Great way to get the message out without saying anything informative. Assign it to someone with no useful skills. It's free. Fill space. Avoid truths like layoffs. Use motivating non-answers.
Staff meetings.
Gather people who don't need to talk. Waste up to 10% of their lives. Reiterate stuff everyone knows shows leadership. Let one person ask endless questions while others plot murder. Let people drone on with acronyms no one understands. Zero information transfer.
Perfect. And other quick hits. Taking credit for ideas.
Obvious resource grab, hiring consultants, often useless filler, reorganizations, random shuffling to look busy.
Why are managers paid so much?
Intangible value can't be defined. Getting rid of people, downsizing, making them quit, how to be happy, delegate everything, avoid the morale trap.
So pulling it all together, we've walked through this incredibly satirical handbook. It paints a picture where management is all about appearance, manipulation, and pure self-interest.
It's extreme, yeah. It's meant to be funny, but darkly so. But listening to this, maybe you recognize moments, little echoes in your own experience. It definitely holds up a cynical mirror, makes you look at common stuff and ask, wait, why are we doing this? Is it Dogbertian?
Exactly. It can feel uncomfortably close sometimes, can't it?
It really can, which forces you to question things.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to you listening. Why dig into this? Well, if success, according to this satirical view, is all about appearances, dodging decisions, grabbing resources, what does that suggest about how performance is really measured?
Both for you and maybe for your own manager. What are the real metrics driving behavior in your workplace? Is it what's written down, or is it maybe something a bit more Dogbert? Something to think about as you go about your day.
Thanks for listening. Visit our library and subscribe below for more book summaries. This has been a Sprint Reads production.